Since Ben and I are pretty much the best reviewers on the entire show, they figured why not give us 30 games to review in one shot. That's right, this is the Rare Replay.
I beat all of them.
I know, I saw it. I saw all the achievements, all the snapshots unlocked. Was it fun playing 30 years of Rare history?
Well, this is the first thing that I thought of when I got this game. I was so excited to see that Microsoft is actually honoring a game developer. I mean, everybody in the world can name some video games, but very few people actually know who makes these things.
Sure.
And it's something that people who work in the video game industry, we know all the people who make it, every single one of them. It's important to honor these craftsmen and craftswomen who spend their lives churning out these awesome video games. So first off, kudos to Microsoft for actually slapping Rare's name right on the box.
A couple of those N64 games too. They're like, whoa, here you go.
Yeah, exactly. They really honor this company. And they honor this company by including 30 games from Rare's history. It starts with 1983's Jetpack. Never played that one before.
Really?
I never played Jetpack.
It was in the original. If you bought the Xbox Live version of Jetpack Refueled, you could play the classic version.
Why would I have bought Jetpack Refueled?
You didn't play all those? I played all that stuff. XBLA, man.
But I was stoked to play it. I was stoked to play all those early games. There's a bunch of them. Games like Saberwolf, Underworld. Yeah, there's Knight's Lore. And all these games came out for a computer called the ZX Spectrum, which was an 8-bit computer that was hot in the UK during the 80s. I never owned one, obviously, and I never really played these games. I was really stoked to play them, but they're not really that much fun. A couple of them are okay, but a lot of them are kind of lame.
Jetpack wasn't bad.
These computers were very rickety, and you gotta give them some leeway with how good or bad these games were.
Respect the history.
That being said, I think for a lot of people, you jump into this collection and you're gonna really start with the NES games. That's when a lot of people fell in love with Rare. Well, there's Slalom, there's also RC Pro-Am, dude, which is a great game.
RC Pro-Am 2.
And they're both good still. Like, those are still really fun racing games. And then, of course, you segue right into Battletoads, which for a lot of us, for me, that was really my first Rare game. The game that I thought, this is a developer, it kind of has an identity to it. With those characters, those ridiculous Battletoads.
Rash Sits and Pimple.
Oh my god, it's a totally embarrassing and blatant Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ripoff. They even talk about that in some of the making of stuff, which we'll get to in a bit. But I loved playing Battletoads again, and the most important thing about playing Battletoads in the Rare Replay, as opposed to playing it for real,
is the cheat for infinite lives.
Is the rewind. You can rewind. You can rewind any game by pressing the left trigger, and that's like in the middle of the game. So obviously in a game like Battletoads, when you're dying over and over again on the racing level, well, you just hit the left trigger, you cheat, you zip back a little bit, and you do it again.
Which is great. I mean, they have that feature involved in all their games, so you can go through and like, that sucks, except for like the later on games. But for all the classic games, you can go through rewind, especially those tough parts where you definitely need to utilize it. I mean, obviously Killer Instinct was one of my favorite games when it came out in the arcade cabinet when it was built for the Ultra 64. I would have liked to see the arcade edition of the original Killer Instinct. I mean, Killer Instinct Gold is fun and all, but there's just something special that resonates with that original Killer Instinct.
Yeah.
That couldn't get in there.
Well, they didn't put in the SNES version, which I think a lot of people were more familiar with than the N64 version. But I mean, you're right. Look, Killer Instinct, that's another Rare game. I kind of forgot Rare made that until I started playing this collection. I was like, oh my god, right, they made Killer Instinct too. From there, after you get through those NES and SNES games, you get into the real heart of Rare's game making, which are the N64 games. And that starts with Blast Corps, which was an underrated, very cool.
Yeah, I had some good times playing that game, man.
Just break and tear things down.
I had to send a picture to my friend Aaron. I was like, remember that time we used to play this game all the time? Like, it's back. It's back now, you can play it now, again.
It's really an undervalued classic, how good Blast Corps is. People who play a lot of video games, writers and journalists, we all talk about Blast Corps as being sort of one of the great lost N64 games. But they also have some awesome not lost games, like all the Banjo-Kazooie games, which hold up remarkably well.
I literally finished half of Banjo-Kazooie. I was excited just to be playing it again. I forgot that I was supposed to be reviewing all the other games on the disc, and I'm like, all right, this is great.
Yeah, I got into that one too. I know. I know.
There have been collections of game franchises before, but this is, like you said, a love letter and shows just how much that the Microsoft people cared about putting this Rare package together and making it worthwhile to the people that want to experience the history of Rare and getting the featurettes and the soundtrack stories, and there's so many extras just that they didn't even have to include. They could have just gave me the games.
Yeah.
But the behind-the-scenes stuff really pulls the package together. And for $30, it's so hard to beat a value like
It
this.
is hard to beat a value, although I do have to say one quick thing, which is
Say
that
it. Say it quick.
you're getting this collection, you're excited to play a bunch of rare games, you're going to be missing 2 of probably the best-known rare games
Wheel
ever.
of Fortune on the Nintendo.
That's right, and you're missing GoldenEye for the N64, and you're missing all of the Donkey Kong Country games, and these are probably Rare's best games. I mean, that's the fact is at least the best-known games that this company's ever made. And Rare's gone on record saying, well, it's because these games were sort of licensed properties.
Sure.
We didn't create these characters, so we didn't feel like it was a good fit. The real story is probably a little bit of the moolah. They got a lot of licensing issues with Nintendo. So it's unfortunate they're not here, but it's a little weak, nitpicking a game for having only 30 games for 30
If you guys
bucks
would have
instead
given
of
us
32.
34, that would have been better. I could have used all 3 Donkey Kongs and a GoldenEye, but I'll take the 30.
Just know going in, you're not getting GoldenEye or Donkey Kong Country, but man, you're getting so much more. This is an incredible compilation. I think we need to give it an awesome score. What are you giving the Rare Replay?
I'm giving the Rare Replay a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it an 8.5 myself. We love your Rare.
York?